My name's Joy, and I am excited to share a little bit about our Charlotte Mason homeschool today because things are a little bit different. So we started piano lessons this spring for the very first time in our whole homeschool. So my 13-year-old got to start for the very first time, and kind of on down to my 8-year-old. So that has been a huge change in our routine. So starting to incorporate that. But then also my husband signed up 5 of our kids for lacrosse, which means I have kids on like 3 different teams. And I was like, what are we doing here? So luckily my middle schooler is actually able to help coach for my youngest, her little team. So the girls are able to support one another in that way. But what that means is our weeks are a lot crazier than they were when we weren't doing any sports or any music at all. So what I was finding was I needed to drop some of our curriculum and just go into what I'm calling light mode. A few subjects that we dropped include Shakespeare. We are finishing our Plutarch, but I noticed I had scheduled a geography that we were doing as a family, and then I had individual geography readings assigned to my older students. And I was like, you know what? 1 geography is enough. Let's just say we're good. So I dropped the one that we were doing in morning time. But then I also noticed there was a lot of stuff we weren't getting to, such as current events. We get the Epic Times, and that's the newspaper that we've been using. It's a conservative paper. And I just noticed like we weren't really reading it. The kids are reading it for the comics. Every now and then I'll pick it up to look at it. And I was like, you know what? We're just gonna make one of our morning times during the week to read through not read through the newspaper, but like I'll read an article or highlight an article. Another thing that I added into our homeschool when I dropped some of our more schoolish activities was our outdoor gardening work. We have a little section of trees next to us, a little bit of woods, about an acre of woods. And one of my dreams was to make trails that go through that. So I budgeted 30 minutes during our school week that we are blazing trails. And that has been so much fun to start to see the trails coming together because we set apart time to do that. The other thing that I dropped was our science lab and our ourselves reading. We had made so much strides in the fall and the winter that I just felt like, you know what, we're just gonna let this chill and work on some of these things that we have not been doing. And actually, by pulling back this 3rd term, I'm realizing that's how I'm actually going to schedule next year. I'm gonna have 2, what I'm gonna call like hardcore Charlotte Mason terms. And then the spring, I am going to schedule in more fun activities. So for instance, we are reading through an art book that my husband got one of my children for Christmas. It is an adult art book, but I'm reading it aloud and I'm giving the kids the assignments and we are having a lot of fun. They're really engaged and captivated. This author is really good. It's called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. And it's like one of the best drawing books ever. So going through that, we're really learning how to see. She's giving us a lot of exercises that are helping us, like basically you're turning off your left brain, your language brain, and you're trying to engage your right brain so that you can see where shapes intersect and not get all muddled up with, no, it's supposed to look like a nose, and then then you can't actually draw the line as it appears. So we're having fun with that. But these are just kind of ways that I'm setting, just incorporating margin into our semester, because now it's really nuts with all of these different extracurriculars that are going on this semester. So I'd love to hear how your spring is going. If you've done the same thing, I'm going to actually start homeschool planning for next year very soon. So I would love to hear any tips or tricks you have for getting that process going. We are going to be using the CMEC again next year, but I've noticed I will probably be pulling back in some of the Ambleside Online books for some of the different kids because I love them so much. I can't give them up. So thanks so much for watching this update, and I'll see you next time.